Foundations of Language and Linguistics, B.Ed First Year, Chapter 6, Pedagogical Implication of Linguistics, Question Answer, Part 1. What are the main uses or functions of constructive analysis? Constructive analysis is the study of two languages to identify similarities and differences between them. The findings of constructive analysis are mainly used in the field of language teaching and learning. There are mainly two uses or functions of constructive analysis in the field of language teaching: the predictive and the explanatory functions. The predictive function. The predictive function of CA is to predict the L2 errors that are possible to be committed by the learners. The predictive functions of CA are as follows: to predict the potential areas of L2 errors, to predict the degree of age and difficulty in L2 learning, and to predict the cause of L2 errors. The explanatory function. The explanatory function of CA is to identify the L2 errors that are caused by the L1 interference and explain them in terms of the linguistic features of L1 and L2. The explanatory functions of CA are as follows: to identify the L2 errors caused by L1 interference and to explain the errors in terms of linguistic features of L1 and L2. To sum up, the predictive function predicts the possible areas of L2 errors, while the explanatory function diagnoses L2 errors caused by L1 interference and explain them. How do you define constructive analysis? What are the main criticisms laid against it? Constructive analysis is a branch of applied linguistics that makes a systematic comparison between two languages. In other words, constructive analysis is the study of two languages to identify similarities and differences between them. Constructive analysis collects data from given two languages and compares them in terms of phonological system, grammatical system, and semantic system. Contrastive analysis is not untouched from the critics. Some of the main criticisms laid against it are as follows: L1 interference is not the prime cause of L2 errors. There are many other genuine causes of L2 errors different from L1 interference. A comparison of the learner's native language and the target language cannot help to predict the areas of L2 errors. The comparison of formal features does not show the actual similarities and differences between L1 and L2, so constructive analysis is not adequate. Many L2 features which are similar to L1 are confusing and difficult for the learners. CA assumes that difficulty is caused by differences, but it has often been experienced that learners make a mistake in similar areas too. To conclude, CA hypothesis was framed to predict the areas of difficulty for L2 learners having different mother tongues. Its main goal was to avoid the predictable errors and to make language teaching more effective. However, the hypothesis was not free from criticisms due to the lack of its theories and practices related to the comparison of languages, prediction of errors, etc.